Entering the Mayo Experience.
Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, presented by DraftKings. Week 7 Best Bets, or as they're known the past 2 weeks, Week 7 How to Lose Your Money, because it has not been going well for us. But a reminder to smash the like to the episode, sub to Mayo Media Network, and please sub, rate, and review the Pat Mayo Experience audio podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcast, whatever weird service that you're using. Do it on that as well. Do it on all of them. Help us out, all right? Thank you very much. Reminder as well to play in the DraftKings Listeners League. It's half full already. It'll be close to full by Friday, so if you don't have your spot yet, you may want to go reserve one of your 3 spots right now. I mean, you don't have to play 3. I would recommend you play 3 because it's rake-free. You're not going to get your money in any better on DraftKings, especially because I'm in the contest, and I'm god-awful at this, so I'm like free money. It's beyond, listen, it's no rake, but it's actually like minus rake because you have my dead money in the prize pool to begin with anyway. Tambo and I will talk through the entire slate on Friday's show as well. And if you're looking for some prop bets or you want your daily fantasy optimizer, runthesims.com/Mayo will get you 10% off any of the membership levels. Customize your own projections, find the best numbers on the market and what the projections say versus those. Even if you got some stale lines that are still kicking out there or stuff gets updated, you can go customize your projections. Hey, that's still off. I'm still going to hammer that number. That has actually been going very well, but we don't talk props on the show, so it's not helping you. It's not helping me in terms of the sides and totals. Rob Pizzola and Cam Stewart are on the line with me. Here's how we did last week. We were 0-3 for the second consecutive week on gold picks. We still, however, are 3 games over 500 on the gold picks. When you start 10-1, that's you have some leeway, you have some runway with the bad picks when they start coming in. 1-2 on silver, 9-9 for the season, and we did win on the bronze picks, 2-1. That gets us to 9-8-1. So we're not below 500 on any of the elements of the periodic table, but it's not looking quite as good as it once did. And I've been taking a shit kicking game the past 2 weeks, just overall, outside of props. Props, great. Sides and totals, very bad.
Pat, I lost every game at 1 o'clock, I think. My girlfriend rolls in from the store with food. I'm like, she sees me, I got smoke coming out my ears. That's the thing that people don't understand. Like, we do this for a living. You can't take it too seriously, but it's not just the picks. It's like how it affects you. It's not even the money. It's kind of like not pride. I don't know what the hell you say, but you know what I mean? You put yourself out there, right? And when you have a bad week, like you feel like a complete stooge, right? Pizzola, it's one of those things. It's like, no, nothing will change your mood. You're just sitting there stewing and, we grind it at the end, but man, it sucks. Like when you start the NFL week off with losers, it blows.
I agree. I'm sitting on my couch at 3:30 pretty much every weekend, just like, please let the coin flips go my way today. Like, I just don't want to lose all the coin flips. Let me win some of them. Felt like a bad week. I mean, honestly, at the beginning of the year, if you said we're going to be with this record at this point, we probably would all take it. But it's the manner, like, I feel sorry for the poor guy who watched like the week 1 and 2 videos. And he's like, okay, I don't know these guys. I'm going to feel it out. Week 3 and 4. He's like, all right, they're getting hot. Maybe I'm going to jump on board. Week 5 and 6.
Rob,
poor guy.
I started on the fan at like 80%. I'm like 50 now. Like I went the last 2 weeks, I might as well honest to God, I'd like somebody to punch me in the face. Like I'm hating the NFL right now.
I bet San Fran, Atlanta over 43.5 last week. It was at 42 points with 8 minutes left in the third quarter and not a single point for the remainder of the game. And I basically said, if this is the day it's going to be, this is the day it's going to be. But yeah, it was a rough one for me personally last week as well. And I get it, Cam. Like you put a lot of you invest a lot of time into the week, into, handicapping the NFL, breaking down the games. And when it doesn't go your way, especially on a really bad day, it just feels so much worse because you lost money, but you also invested that time.
It's not fair to your significant other, and Patrick has kids, because you're in a bad mood. It doesn't matter what you say or what you do. Oh, don't worry. People still love you. It's okay. No, it's not okay. Like, we can't be continuing these bad streaks here, Pat. You know what I'm saying? At least your kids still love you. They don't understand spreads yet.
No, they don't. Maybe I'll just get them to make the picks. I'll open up my app and be like, here, you guys pick these ones. You're doing better than I'm doing right now. It's funny you mentioned the over, because I had the over in the Browns and Patriots game as well, and it looked like that was going to stall out too after some heavy scoring early on, and then all of a sudden the Patriots put up like an extra 20 points in garbage time. I was like, okay, at least that one went my way. That's a good one. And then that was after getting my heart ripped out by Matt Ryan in the Indianapolis Colts. I think that was. I'm pretty sure that was the first pass of over 20 yards that he has completed all year, like an air yard. Like, because all they did all day, they just ran a slant. They just trade for Michael Thomas at this point. If that's the only play they're going to run, you might as well go get the best guy in the world to go do that. But, like,
that was the game, Pat.
Jacksonville had the game covered after 10 minutes.
Exactly.
Like,
I was sitting there, and when Indianapolis came back and won, I don't get mad often. We bet every day, right, Pizzola, Pat? We bet every day. Like, I bet hockey, I bet NBA, I bet everything. That game, I don't know what to tell you. The anger I had when Indianapolis started doing things at the end of that game, that was it. I knew. I go, I'm done today. I'm done. I'm going to get absolutely lambasted. You forget, man, I can't believe Jacksonville didn't cover and win that game. Pissed me off.
I don't
still
care.
Angry.
I don't care that they didn't win, because I had it from the very first point of the week. I had it at 2.5. I was like, oh, great. Yep. The Colts just kick a field goal here. I still win. No big deal. Touchdown. It's like, what the fuck is this?
I
agree, man.
It's extremely upsetting when stuff like that happens. I mean, I bet on Skylar Thompson last week. This is the second week in a row where I've bet Miami and I didn't get the same quarterback that I bet on because of an injury early in the game.
Me too, Pizzola. We're on Miami in the Super Contest. This guy gets hurt. Like if anything went wrong last week, it went wrong. By the way, is that a pillow, like a Dr. Hull? What do you got going on in your neck there?
I was talking to Pat this morning. I've woken up very much under the weather with some neck pain. So this is like one of those heat pads. And I needed to survive today, or else I can't keep my head upright.
You're living my life, Pizzola. Just aches, pains, problems, potions, lotions, promises. I'll tell you a tip though. Try heating up some stuff, like exactly like that. Like get like a blanket. I know this sounds insane, like just heat it up a little bit, like those, because electric blankets, in my opinion, even though the old ones used to catch on fire, they don't do the same thing. You got to kind of do things manually. And if you've got a throat problem, throat coat. This stuff is absolutely amazing. I don't know what the hell is in it, echinacea or
I'm using these.
Those don't
Cepacol.
Yeah, that Cepacol for losers.
Ginger.
You got to upgrade. It's like your antacid game. People are like, hey, Cam, how are the Tums? I'm like, buddy, I'm in the Malox League, and that's not even strong enough. Like, I need something stronger, right, Pat?
Yeah, I mean,
Shag. Does Shag have heartburn?
I don't think so. It turned out he has like celiac disease, so he stopped eating gluten, and now he feels a lot better.
That's great.
Okay.
I'm happy that they figured it out and he's feeling better. I mean, I did this one chip challenge earlier this week, and I'm convinced it just threw everything off for me. Like, there's no coming back from that. I highly, highly recommend nobody ever try that in their lives, even for clout, for content, whatever. Just threw my stomach off for like 2 days, and now I'm having these like I don't even know what's going on with my body.
That's my MO, right, Pizzola? I used to eat milk bones, like whatever any other people did. Like that's what I do. I
remember you
fun,
eating
right?
dog food. Yes.
No,
I remember.
I will not eat wet. I ate milk bones, and they taste fine.
All right. Not my choice in snack.
Well, I'm not saying I'm going to go to the store and eat milk bones instead of pistachios, but I'm just saying you've seen the things that I put down my gullet.
Well, we forced you to eat a milk. We didn't force you. You lost a bet, so you had to eat a milk bone. But you went into the box for more after you were done the first one.
It's partly
so you
true.
You basically treated it like it was a snack.
Yeah, I remember it was Valpo. So we didn't eat Valpo. We didn't eat Alpo. Yeah, I remember Valparaiso. So we go Alpo. I go, I'm not eating it wet, Pat, but I did accept dry milk bones.
Interesting. Oh, Paul meant to actually. I'll bring this up here after the gold picks. We should probably get to the picks because people need their losers.
Yeah.
I got one for you here. It's the team that I have put into. Listen, I've been riding this team all year. Everyone laughed at me, and it's going. It's the only thing that's really going well for me the past few weeks is continuing to bet on the Atlanta Falcons, and they are getting less credit this week than they have any other week for reasons unknown, I guess. Like, yeah, Cincinnati puts up a nice second half with Jamar Chase against the Saints. And now all of a sudden they're back. Please spare me. It was 6. It's now 6.5. I guess all the money's coming in on Cincinnati here. Maybe I doubt it gets to 7. That would be kind of shocking to me. But I love the Falcons plus 6.5 in Cincinnati. Just the way that the Falcons play, it either goes one of two ways, is that they're going to run down your throats, they're going to kill the clock and extend these drives with their just hodgepodge of weirdo running backs and Marcus Mariota, and they never want to pass the ball. Their defense, as I explained on the spread show, it's not good by any means, but they were the worst defense last year. Now they're like the 23rd defense. Like, that's a big improvement from what you expect the Falcons defense to be. I think people really underrate that. When you go from 32nd to 23rd, it's a massive improvement. And it's just hard to be the worst defense year over year. It's like being the best defense year over year. That's why we love offense so much. Like, the best offense, they don't lose their guys, ends up generally being a top 3 offense again. Defense doesn't really work that way year over year in the NFLs. And weirdly, when they've needed to make a play, the Atlanta defense has come up big in a lot of these games. They just did it against the 49ers, stopping them on 4th down, sacking Geno in Seattle when they were racing to go get that field goal to tie up the game or even win the game. They just dropped them back out of field goal range and boom, that was the end of the game. So they're getting, and they got to Tom Brady. They just got a terrible call against him at the end of that game too. So they've had these 2 games where they've been getting absolutely waxed because they're not really that good. But then they fight back to get me my cover, Cam, which is all I really want. And then the other games, they just kind of boat race everyone. So Cincinnati hasn't been good. I don't know why it's 6.5. Not to say they're not going to cover the 6.5 or the 6.5. Like, Cincinnati could have turned the corner. They could be good, but I don't know what we've seen from Cincinnati so far this year that we would want to lay 6.5 points with them against a 500 team.
I got to be honest with you, Pat. I kind of had a theme this week.
Cats.
And it's
Cats. Yes.
I'm so predictable.
Well,
anyway, let's not worry about that right now. But that was going to be like, I kind of like Cincinnati this week. I don't know how you feel, Pizzola. I just think Atlanta's covered every week. I just think this is the week they fall apart. But hell, what do I know? The last 2 weeks have been a train wreck.
This is, I guess, good news for the listeners is that we will have a guaranteed gold winner this week because I like the Bengals as my gold pick this week.
Feinberg also took them as his super lock to go against me on this. This is just a very classic spot of, well, Atlanta can't continue to cover. That'd be impossible. Like,
I don't really believe that, but I do think the Falcons are a little bit overvalued because of the win over San Fran. And San Fran had about 1 million injuries last week. Is about as depleted as any team is going to be on the football field this season. I did watch a lot of Cincinnati, New Orleans after the fact. So Cincinnati's offense, in my opinion, they've turned the page. They've figured it out. Part of the reason why is they play exclusively out of shotgun now. Every single snap, except for a quarterback sneak and a kneel down last week, was out of shotgun for Joe Burrow. And it's helped them in their running game, which has become way more efficient the last couple of weeks. And it's helped them extremely well in their passing game. And I just don't see how the Falcons get stops. I mean, they just do not generate pressure. Their pressure rate is the worst in the league. I think the Bengals are going to move the ball considerably. And just from a line value perspective, like when we think about when Atlanta went on the road against Tampa, they were double-digit dogs. Against the Rams, they were double-digit dogs. And ultimately, you can say that they covered those games, but they trailed by 21 plus going into the 4th quarter in both of those games. Now you get the Bengals. It's quite an adjustment, in my opinion, to bring it down below a touchdown. I think the Bengals are improving. They've kind of figured it out. So I think this is going to be a blowout. I like Cincinnati minus 6.5.
So do I.
Are you making it your gold pick too, Cam?
Oh, no. I wouldn't do it. No, two
what other
golds the
cat?
same.
What other cat?
You know what? What's the biggest? Anyway, hold on. Can I have Cincinnati as my bronze pick, Pat? Is that acceptable?
Yeah,
I hate going against you, Pat. Like, we're friends, and you're also hosting the show. Like, you're right though; it's guaranteed pick night. But I hate when we do this. But I'm like Pizzola. I had a Cats theme. That this was my bronze cat. Like, I like Cincinnati in this game. I think they beat Atlanta by 16 points. I think they murder them.
I would start to worry that everyone in the world thinks that Cincinnati's like the lock of the week, by the way.
Yeah, now I am. But Pat, I'm worried when I wake up if I'm going to make it through the day, let alone if Cincinnati's going to cover 6.5. I got a lot of problems. And I'm going to tell you this. But to Pizzola's point, I think a lot of things are getting better for them. how does Atlanta cover in this game? I think they're going to need like a special teams touchdown. I think they're going to need a lot of stuff. Rob's right. Cincinnati they moved it up and down the field against the Saints. This is the thing. Everyone's going to jump on Atlanta like the roulette wheel now.
They're but they're not jumping on Atlanta. That's the whole thing. Everyone's jumping on Cincinnati.
Yeah,
My personal opinion is that I don't care who else is on the game or not.
Yeah, good. Yeah, you're right. I shouldn't get every time I care, bad things happen. I
Yes.
couldn't give a rat's ass who's betting on what. I like Cincinnati as my bronze pick.
What I'm most concerned about this week is Cam is coming into the week with a Cats theme, and I'm looking at my remaining picks. I think there's a decent chance that me and Cam have the same gold, silver, and bronze picks this week.
That's awesome, Pizzola, because this week we're going to do it together. We're going to actually do it together instead of fail together. We're going to win together.
There we go.
Someone went and looked at it that any time between some combination of the three of us has the same pick, and we're both on the same side. No, it's like a 5% hit rate.
You know what, Pat? I don't believe in trends. I'm not listening.
We're going to regress to the mean. Regression to the mean.
Are you doing?
As Brian Blessing says, there's no ham sandwich. Water always finds its level, right, Pizzola? We're gonna find our level this week.
There we go.
So you're doing that thing too, like Pizzola does, where it's like, well, I'm not really a trends guy, but here's a trend that supports me, so I like it.
I'm producing good content. Some people out there want to hear the trends. I'm just catering to the audience, even though I don't believe in it sometimes. I preface by saying I don't buy into this, but somebody out there might. I like to deliver the goods, Pat. That's who I am.
Pat, like a politician, trends that work for me are the only ones I care about. Like, you know what I mean? If I ever ran for politics, Pat, you and Pizzola could be my guy, but I got a lot of skeletons in my closet. I wouldn't get very far.
Hey, Cam, in a post-Trump world, no one cares about that anymore.
Good. They should. It's about like maintaining, fiscal responsibility and getting people on track. But anyway, I like the Bengals -6.5.
That'll be your bronze. What's going to be your gold pick, though?
Well, yeah. Why do we always see, Pat? I screwed up the theory again. You have a method to the madness. My gold pick is going to be the Detroit Football Lions.
This is my bronze pick.
That's also my bronze pick.
The Detroit Football Lions go in with Dak Prescott back. People are like, oh, they're going to destroy Detroit. Well, Detroit gets Swift back. They get St. Brown back. Dak Prescott's coming in cold, and Detroit has had time to prepare. They've been horrible this year. This is my spot. I think Detroit gives Dallas all they can handle. I think they can win the game outright. What am I getting here? 7 flat? I'm not getting 7
flat.
Yeah, you're getting 7. Yeah.
I was gonna beg you guys for the hook for 7.5, but it's okay. I'll take it at 7. You know me, Pizzola. I always want more. I'm a very greedy guy, but I love the Detroit Lions. Pat, sorry to give my bronze pick away. I'm really screwing up the show today, but I love the Detroit Lions and the Cat theme. I think this is a great spot for them this week. And people think Dak's going to go out there and do his thing. No, I don't. I disagree with that wholeheartedly. Give me Detroit.
I think that any time that you can get 4 or more on Detroit this season, it's an auto bet. I don't care who they're playing. Like like Atlanta, they'll find a way to be down by 21 in the fourth quarter and lose by 3. Like that's their MO.
This would have been higher up on my list. They had the bye week last week, obviously Detroit. I figured that their injury report would look a lot better yesterday than it did. Cam's right. St. Brown practiced in full, but still no DJ Chark. They're missing Charles Harris on defense. Those guys did not practice. They might still play. Regardless, I just think that the Cowboys, first of all, we saw Russell Wilson come back early from a finger injury last year.
His name is Mr. Unlimited, Rob.
I remember watching that video.
Can I give a speech about Russell Wilson?
Go ahead.
The guy's the biggest phony in the history of phonies. And I don't care. Like, he could be this. Like, guys on his team, Pat, imagine this. Imagine me and you and Rob are on a team. I can't call you direct. I got to go through an agent. Lynch and Sherman are ripping this guy, saying, we wanted to talk to the guy. Talk to my agent. That's the whole thing about Russell Wilson, this good guy act, and it's falling short. And that's another thing. Seattle made some great moves, getting rid of him and Geno Smith. The thing about Russell Wilson, I'm not going to say he's a bad human being, but to me, I think it's a lot of fakeness there. And that's all I'm going to say is if you don't have somebody's direct number and you have to call a guy in your football team through an agent, you got a problem. That's my take.
I lost a lot of respect for Russell Wilson when he did that TikTok video with Faith No More's "We Care a Lot." Have you seen that one?
I love Faith No More.
Yes, I know, but he did it's very hard to watch. Let's put it that way. He's trying to appeal to the younger crowd.
It doesn't work.
It's very uncomfortable.
Do you remember
His
when
other ads uncomfortable? I think everything he does, like when he's doing advertisements, a lot of uncomfortable. Like, didn't he do like a sandwich commercial too that sucked pretty hard?
Yeah,
I don't think they aired it.
He's in a new Subway commercial as of this morning.
It's awful. Like he's almost like gagging eating the sub. Like you got to look like you enjoy the product. And like, hey, come on.
Do you remember in like 2000, I want to say 2014, 2015, Rob, he had a concussion, but then he said he had a concussion water that cured his concussion?
I do remember that.
I feel like that really got swept under the rug, or he should at least be sending a case to Tua at this point. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's
I mean,
amazing.
he could make millions in this league with the way that it's been going the last few weeks.
I see Josh Palmer just popped up as having a concussion as well. The Chargers are running out of guys here. I was thinking about putting them as one of my picks, or Seattle as one of my picks, but
Yeah, be careful. I know the Seahawks, Pat. Good, bad, good, bad, good,
Yeah,
bad.
and they were
right when you think they're going to be good, they'll let you down.
yeah, but they were bad last week and still won.
No,
Yeah.
Arizona just sucks.
Arizona
Cliff
couldn't
Kingsbury-
score. Yeah.
Cliff Kingsbury is a stooge. I'd rather have like me, you, and Pizzola running things. One job about being a coach is having scripted plays off the top. This team is always down. And Kyler Murray's kind of a problem too. The guy's he's like Russell Wilson Jr. running around, trying to find something. Is it just me or does Arizona even have a playbook? Doesn't seem like they do.
It seems like
Arizona's a disaster.
but now they have Hopkins back, coming fresh off steroids.
Yes, fresh off the roids, the injections, and I mean, listen. I mean, the reality is they have been much better. Kyler Murray's numbers with DeAndre Hopkins are much better.
Oh, yes.
than without him.
Rob, know what it is? We did this on the show, and Morency brought up, it was a good point. 8 points better. That is absolutely insane. Like not just 1 or 2, 8 with Hopkins in the lineup. Pat, can you believe that? That's how much he impacts this team. It's a big deal.
I don't know if he's still that guy, but I mean that
Agreed.
actually makes a lot of sense. Like he's been a top 5 receiver in football for at least 7 years. So that tracks to me that they would be much better with that guy playing.
I did think 8 points, but
I think the loss of Hollywood Brown, though, is huge for that team because they can't stretch the field. Like he was the only guy that could really get downfield.
Yeah, but he wasn't doing it anyway. Like people forget Hollywood Brown kind of sucks. And when you thrust him into a role where he gets all the volume and he can put up these numbers, that's great and everything. But he's a number 2. Like now they have a number 1 back. Like, yeah, you lose it. That's not good for their offense, but you're replacing him with a guy who theoretically is way better.
Hollywood Brown, his hands suck. He can run, but he's got bad hands.
But either way, the guys like that are important because they stretch the field. Like it essentially, it's different than just running, some bum AJ Green down the field. Like no one's going to respect that as a deep threat. So that's the difference. Guys like that, like it's very similar to, let's say the Ravens offense without Rashad Bateman as well. Look how much easier it is to defend the Ravens now when you're not scared of getting cooked over the top and you can play everyone closer to the line of scrimmage.
But that wasn't the Ravens' problem last week. The Ravens' problem last week is that Lamar couldn't hit an open man. He was just throwing it over their heads or bouncing it to them the entire time.
He did not play a good game.
No,
The MVP, the Lamar MVP talks have fizzled very quickly.
Lamar MVP? Get bent.
Remember the first 3 weeks of the season? Yeah.
I wasn't one of those guys that
Yeah.
said that, but I'll tell you, well, Wink Martin, wasn't it, who had the plan? Who's the Giants defensive coordinator there?
Wink Martindale.
Martindale.
Yeah, he used to be at the Ravens.
He knows them.
Yeah.
They had a system, and that's the one thing about Lamar Jackson, guys, you guys know. Certain teams like the Bills did it, the Titans have done it to him before. Like you come up with a good concept and just make him have a couple yards on these runs and stuff. Like let's call it out for what it is. Is he one-dimensional? Like he's a talented kid, but there's a lot of flaws in my opinion. Still. I don't know if I think said that eloquently.
I think that losing Bateman, I mean, they just signed Deshaun Jackson, so now they have their vertical threat. Although I want to say he's an old man. He's probably like my age or younger than me at this point. But let's not pretend like the Giants' defense is good. It's not. Like they brought in Wink Martindale. They're great. They're like the 30th ranked defense.
Yeah.
So
I agree. I agree with you 100%.
Lamar did it to himself last week. It wasn't the complex blitz packages. He was just missing open guys.
Yep.
Like
I don't disagree with you. I think the Giants are very, very overvalued. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, and I mean, I wanted to talk about that game in a second. But so we have Atlanta, Cincinnati against each other. Rob is gold. Detroit +7 for Cam, and that's both of our. We figured out our bronze picks already, so I guess we got to fill some time here before we get to the silver. Cam, what I wanted to ask you, Paul brought this up before the show, was he tried to log into a site and they didn't accept his password. Then he had to go password recovery.
A porno site or a sports betting site?
It was a sports betting site.
Oh,
I mean,
okay,
it's probably
okay.
his porno password too. I don't know. Although you don't really need porno.
Who has a porno
Yeah, I was gonna
password?
say, you don't need. It's not.
I don't know.
It's not 1998. You don't need to. You don't need to like risk your credit card online to get like free access to porn. That shit's all free now. But
Yeah, old school. Just
like
gotta
Rob-
pop in the VHS.
Rob-
Anyway, what? Yeah.
Rob strikes me as a guy who would, when they suggest passwords for you and it's like G84 number sign and it's like
Yeah,
38.
exclamation
It's like
point, number. It's like, shut the hell up.
Yeah,
No, I've had problems too, Pat. I literally have a piece of paper now to answer Shag's problem. I don't know what my passwords are for Google, this, that. It is so frustrating. I got locked out of my PayPal account because I like started to sweat. I had pressure, wrong password. I write everything down now. So it's not Paul's fault. Like, life, make things easier. And when you have recovery, sometimes you go to the phone and they give you a code, but you're also in a different app and you're doing this and you're doing that and the timer runs out. Like, there's a lot of pressure. It's almost like defusing a bomb, and I don't like it at all.
What is happening here? It's the easiest process
No, it's
ever.
not easy.
They send you a text message with a six-digit code.
It's not easy. It's not easy. No. Yeah, they send you a text message, but you still got to do all the other stuff. Oh,
Yeah, you
it's
got to type in the
easy.
6-digit code. You got to look at your phone. You got to open up the text, type the 6 digits into the computer and hit enter. That's the whole process.
No, but there's other things that are going. Pat, please defend me on this one. It's not that simple. It's not.
You click forgot password. They say, all right, we're going to send you an email or we're going to send you a text with a temporary code. You either open up your email or you open up the text.
I know,
and you
Rob. I'm just saying it's not that simple when you're going back and forth. And sometimes they give you a quick timer and you're trying to do this and you're trying to do that and you can't get it in. Anyway, I'm done with exclamation points. I'm done with uppercase, lowercase. Shut up. Okay? Shut up. I'm so done with the security in today's age. It sucks. I'm on Shag's side. I think it's ridiculous. Ridiculous, man. I honest to God, Rob, I don't even know what the hell's going on with these passwords. You know what it is? I'll use an example. I'm just going to quickly use an example.
Don't say your password.
Don't say your password.
Don't say your
the
password.
password out loud.
No, I'm never going to do that, buddy. I already got, I don't know how Instacart or whatever got my stuff, and some idiot's buying dildos on some site, and they're like, hey, Mr. Stewart, how's your visa? You know what the problem was? Getting all those things back again. I don't even care, like just all the codes I have for like all the apps. But Pat, I'm telling you, it's a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare when these things happen, man. I can't deal. Oh, I forgot my train of thought. What were we talking about?
I mean, you're surprised that somebody could possibly hack your accounts when you're writing your passwords down on paper. Like, where's the surprise?
What are they in my house with a sledgehammer? They're knocking me out and then going into my drawer and finding my papers?
Well, if you need a
documents?
password for your PayPal account, I would suggest not writing it down on a piece of paper and leaving it next to your computer. That would probably be not a smart solution.
I don't leave it next to the computer. I leave it in a like a jewelry box in a drawer.
Okay.
Who's gonna find it?
I mean,
I don't have a cleaning lady. My place is a dump. Like, who's gonna find it? You tell me.
if someone
who's gonna
breaks
find it.
into your house and takes that jewelry
Good,
box,
take
your
it.
entire life is God, basically, at that point.
Oh, okay. So
Secure-
I'm just gonna annoyingly change passwords every time there's a problem. I know what. I hate this conversation.
It should be easy to remember Dance Fever as a password, though.
That's my old Russian one that my buddy hooked up at the gym. I was getting like Russian porno stuff. No, Dance Fever doesn't exist anymore. It's done. He's dead. Okay? I got new stuff.
You tell us more about Russian porno?
No, my buddy went to a Good Life gym and they're like, hey, Cam Stewart, whatever, at Hotmail, whatever. I don't even have the account anymore. And I was getting all sorts for a joke. They just flooded my box with like, Euro brides and all sorts of stuff that I didn't. It was a disaster. I had to get rid of my Hotmail account.
Yeah.
There was too much activity.
Well,
I
mean,
do that back in the day to Cam. Lots of us used to do that.
I mean,
fun tricks, great tricks.
Yeah.
well, there's also the thing
Excellent.
too where it turned like 2005 and everyone else had already gotten rid of their Hotmail account. That you're probably a bit behind the times on that one.
Why, you're saying people don't have Hotmail accounts now?
I mean,
They do, but
I don't know anyone who uses a Hotmail account.
Wow. Okay. This
Do
has
you?
been quite an intervention. Yeah, I know a couple people that still have a Hotmail account. Yeah, but I guess we're old fossils. Like, I'm an old guy. I'm almost 50.
Didn't everyone like switch over to Gmail at one point, and that was just the standard?
I hate Gmail. I think it sucks.
What's your gripe with Gmail?
A lot. All these ads that I'm getting for things that I don't want. It's always my promotions box is always to the rim. I don't even ask for this stuff. And then I go, unsubscribe, and then they keep on sending it to me. I honestly, Pat, I don't even want to tell this story on the air. I tried to create a domain name like Cam Stewart, whatever, my own email address and stuff for bets, and I was going to launch a site, and turned out to be a disaster, and they sucked me for a lot of money. I can't get these guys out of my life. Even though I said unsubscribe, I called.
Yeah, that sucks.
It's a long story. Yeah, it does, because that's what I'm talking about with Pizzola. Like, I don't like this. I don't like anything about these.
If it comes to technology,
sites.
though, you could always ask me or Pat to help you out with this stuff.
What am I going to say? I'm getting fleeced by this company, this domain company. There.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what am I going to do.
Exactly.
Okay, but I'm pretty good at technology. I know how to fix my computer and things now. You guys saw me. You tested me with that Zoom thing on my phone, which I passed.
That's true.
I'm not here to put people down. You're improving with technology, is what I would say.
Thank you.
Saying pretty good is different, but we can get you to the next level. Me and Pat can help get you to the next level with tech.
I appreciate that.
And
Sorry,
it'll be easier to pay off the creditors too if we can hit all these silver picks for the week, and then we'll have some extra money in the account. So Rob,
well, there you go, Pat. You got some filler, but we'll talk about all these other things later on these websites and such. Rob, what was sorry, Pat? What was Shag's story again? He can't get into these sites because it's tough. Is that where we were going?
Apparently, he entered his birthday wrong. So when they asked him for his birthday and he put it in, they said it was wrong. He was like, "Oh."
No, and a lot of the time they do that with visas too, because it could be like 04 slash, like sometimes you just got to pay attention a little bit, right, Rob? Like some have like a slash between it, or some there's no spaces and you could screw it up.
I think Pat was pegging me as a guy that uses like these really long passwords that are just numbers and letters, and he's absolutely right. I do use extremely long passwords.
That's typical. That's so typical.
I do have a lot of them memorized. I'm very sick like that, but I need to. I'm a big fan of internet security. Do not want people logging into my crypto accounts and stuff. Like that's not going to end well for me.
Did you write down your seed phrase and put it in a lockbox in a bank somewhere?
I photocopied it 30 times. I handed them around the neighborhood as well. So
anyone can access your crypto accounts is what you're saying? Doesn't sound
I
very
have
secure.
half
Pat,
my seed.
Look at this guy. Hypocrites.com/C. This guy's too much. Oh, enjoy your photocopies as I come to your house and steal.
I didn't photocopy anything. I was obviously joking about the photocopies. I have half the seed myself, Pat, and then my wife has the other half, and so on and so forth.
Okay, so. I have one quick question before we move on. Why wouldn't you write down people's numbers and stuff if you lose your phone?
Well,
how are you going to remember them?
Well, if I don't have a phone, how am I going to call them?
My point being is, if you get a new phone, you got their number. Like, I won't remember their number. Who the hell? I don't even remember anybody's number.
Yeah, but it's funny. I remember every single person I know's phone number from before 1999. I still know them.
I don't know any. I don't even know my girlfriend's number off by heart. The only number I know is mine and my mom's.
So yeah, here's the beauty of having a Gmail account.
Yeah, Cam, you can
upload your contacts to Gmail, and if you lose anything, you just sign back into your Gmail and you recover everything.
I've obviously lost this argument. It's just frustrating.
Yeah, like when I get a new phone, I just plug my phone into my computer and it just downloads all of my information onto it.
Yes.
Okay.
My contacts, my calendar, everything that I previously had with an old phone immediately is recovered.
Pat, does it make me? I just like paper. I like writing things down. Like when I'm watching stuff, I like writing. Okay, it's probably.
I remember when you were doing the hot roster show at Fantasy with Garion. The amount of
I like Garion.
Who doesn't like Garion? Garion's great.
Great guy.
But he has you used to have like the stacks of paper of research that you'd come in with. I think Garion had like a tablet that he'd just kind of go through, and you just had like a binder full of notes that you took.
Hey. Remember what we did, though? You got to admit that hustle we did where I was doing the jockey fantasy and we won everyone $21,000 and bankrupt that company.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
That was a good move by me, Pizzola. So sometimes, once in a while, I got something up there in my noodle. That was a great. Then the show got canceled.
Well, they sponsored. It was like a Japanese horse racing fantasy company.
Actually, no. Jockey fantasy, not even horses.
Jockey fantasy. So Cam knew all the stuff about them. So it worked one of two ways. One, Cam knew all the information and he would give us the winners for all of it. But they had these guaranteed prize pools, and legitimately the only people who played in them were people in the office. They had to give the money away.
Yep.
Pretty good, eh, Pizzola? Not bad.
It's a nice scheme you concocted there.
It was like more than we all made in like 8 months at fantasy. It was fantastic.
Exactly. I think we did quite well. Anyway.
All right. Silver picks for week number 7. I'll throw mine out here. I'm going to continue to lose money betting against the Indianapolis Colts, and I did this last time. Tennessee not only covered, but outright won. That was in Indianapolis. I'm still convinced they're the worst team in football, so I'm going to continue to bet against them when the team coming off a bye, who can run all over them and is getting a little bit healthier, is not even getting a field goal that they have to cover. Give me the Titans -2.5, Rob.
I love your commitment to just fading and betting on certain teams, Pat. That's what I love about you. I don't really have an opinion on this game. I think this is kind of where the numbers should be. I don't know what to make.
It's a tough game.
I don't know what to make of the Colts, because the Colts had a very obvious game plan last week against the Jags, which was like, we're just going to throw the ball as much as possible. It's very un-Colts-like, and it worked, but it's rare that I think that that's going to work for them. So I don't know. I bet on Tennessee last time these two teams played. I will say the Titans got up 24-3 in that game. They kind of sat on the lead, but it was very scary. The second half, the Colts moved the ball very consistently against them. Basically, Tennessee won that game because they were +3 turnover margin. I can't contribute much more to this game other than that. I just think this is the right number. But Vrabel coming off a bye, for all the people out there that do love their trends, I don't put stock into this personally, but Mike Vrabel 4-0 against the spread off a bye as a head coach.
There you go. Lock, Cam. Silver lock.
Oh, I know what I was going to say about these, the things. I got my thought back quickly. Rob, I'm on different servers, Firefox, whatever, and it doesn't remember certain passwords for certain stuff. That's what I find annoying. Like, you know what I mean? Like, when you're like, some of them you do, they're all there. Click, click, click. It's already saved. But anyway, let's not go there anymore. Cats is the theme, and I'm sticking to it. Love felines. Give me the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm so done with this. What, Rob? You got what? So we have the exact same
we have the same 3 picks.
Isn't it funny how you have a computer and all these passwords, and I'm doing it on paper, and we still meet at the same place? Isn't that wild?
I mean, I literally
isn't
took
that
years,
so what?
years to build
Than
sophisticated
or
models.
what is it? Maybe I'm a savant, like Rain Man. I'm coming up with the picks. Anyway, my picks have not been great this year, but the Jaguars are going to take the Giants out to the woodshed this week. I'm so done with this Giants love. They're not that. Baltimore imploded in that game last week. Jacksonville should have beat Indianapolis. Enough is enough. This is the trap line of the week. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I think the Jaguars win this game by double digits. Give me the damn Cats. I told you it's a feline cat show. Lions, Jags, Bengals. Right, Rob? We have the exact same picks. Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Just to have a different order, but I agree. I mean, it took me years to put together models to bet the NFL successfully, and you got a pen and paper, and we're still arriving at the same stuff. Yeah, so now I have to really question all the time that I've
Yes, I agree. All the effort and time you put in, I could literally look at a kid's book and go, wow. At the first, I open it up, and there's a cat there. It's got to mean something.
I mean, I don't like to, I don't like to look at like how the money is coming in on either side, because I think, Rob, you would know this better than anyone else. Those numbers aren't legit, right?
So the problem is a lot of them are coming from recreational sports books. So I don't really care who's betting money at recreational sports book. That's not going to tell me anything. I honestly think those numbers are legit, but they don't matter. Like the thing people don't understand, I've talked about this on this show before, but for those who maybe have not heard it before, the sports book has an edge because they charge a vig, because you're paying -110 to make a bet. That's where the sports book edge is. So people now, they're like, oh, we want to be, the sports books are always winning. I want to be on the same side as the sports book. I'm just going to bet whatever the sports book needs. The problem is I'm paying -110 to do that. The sports book is basically getting +110 because they're booking someone else's bet. I now have to pay -110 to bet the same side as the sports book. It's not apples to apples. That's why the fade the public thing. I mean, if anyone just did any sort of research, pulled up the last 20 years of trends in terms of just betting teams that are the ones that are, the most heavily like basically fading the public type of strategy, you're going to find that it's not profitable. I don't know where this started as a thing that just handicap the games and forget about what other people think. The sportsbook edge is on the vig. So that's my 2 cents on the entire situation.
You're correct.
What I wanted to say about it though is like sometimes I like the Jacksonville. Like I like Jacksonville this week as well. They're not going to make my 3 picks, but like -3 seems like the wrong line in that game. If you would just
Exactly.
like if you were to ask the public, Rob, about what is the right side of that game, I feel like 95% of people are going to tell you, well, the 5-1 Giants are at +3. Sign me up. I feel the same way about the Jets this week. Is that everyone has watched Denver now? Short week. Russell Wilson's hurt. Russell Wilson sucks, but they're still favored by 1. It's like who in God's name would take that? The Jets are rolling right now, and I like Denver and I like Jacksonville.
For sure. Listen, at the end of the day, I just don't put stock into it. Like we could have said the same thing about the Saints Bengals last week, right? Like who's going to look at that point spread and like the Saints in that game? Everyone's going to bet the Bengals. Bengals end up winning and covering. Like there's so many examples where
barely that was a lucky cover.
Whether they barely or
I know.
win or not, it doesn't really matter.
You're right.
I got to ask, was Atlanta the quote unquote sharpest side of the year last year? Because that closed at 3.5.
Yeah, I would say so. So that got bet down from 6 to 3.5. Now, honestly, 5 is kind of dead in the NFL. So moving from 5 to 4, to 3.5 is not a huge move. Moving from 3.5 to 2.5 in a game is actually bigger than 6 to 3.5. So just so people know, because 3 is such a valuable number. But yeah, that was like huge injury news for San Fran. Atlanta one-way action last week. The reality of the case, though, and just getting back to this for you, Pat, in terms of like the public bet numbers, I actually think those are real. Sportsbooks are providing them. I don't think there's any need for them to mislead in terms of the numbers that they are providing. However, most of that is public betting money. That's not what's moving numbers on games. That's not what moving lines on games. If I'm a sportsbook, I have access to everyone's bets that bets with me. I know who the winning bettors are and who the losing bettors are. And the reality is winning bettors are the ones that are moving the lines. That's why lines move. Sportsbook can process bets that are coming in. They can say, this person has a history of winning at the NFL. We're going to shift this line a little bit more. Whereas, people seem to think that sportsbooks want to have 50-50 action on these games. That's not true. Like they'll just take a side. They'll keep a number where it is if they're not seeing influential money on the other side.
Okay. I'm just looking at the Steelers-Dolphins game right now.
What do you think?
I got no feeling on it. I think I picked Miami on the show.
Tough game.
Yeah, just that I don't feel the need to bet primetime games just because they're primetime games. Like I'll bet. Yeah. Well, I'll ask Cust, who's not going to score the first touchdown, and then I'll bet on that guy. That's worked 2 of the past 4 weeks.
I'll tell you though, I needed the Eagles so bad on Sunday night, and
Same.
when I saw Dallas coming back, I was like, my girlfriend, like she saw it. Like I'm just sitting there, I'm looking at my phone, I'm changing. Like we're watching old game shows on. By the way, that's a really good thing. Like cartoons, Pizzola. Watch old game shows like Super Password, where they're playing for like $900 and stuff.
Yeah, but
Excellent
you can't.
fun.
But you can't remember your password. You'd be horrible at that show.
Oh, well, that's not true. He would just have to
No,
go.
they have a card.
No.
Like
He'd
they'll go
have,
lips.
he'd have to bring
They
the
go
sheet
lips,
out.
and you go kiss,
Yeah.
and they go like.
You'd have to go to the jewelry
door.
box and
Yes.
take the sheet out, and you would have all the passwords there. You'd be very good at that show, Ken.
You like my Scooby Doo there, hey Rob?
Pretty good. You get that at the X this year?
Yeah,
Where'd you get that?
Carmelo Anthony. Anyway, no, I hit a couple free throws drunk, and yeah, I got a Scooby Doo. Actually, yeah. Anyway, long story. I don't want to get into it. Pat, that was strong, very strong.
Thank you. It's callback. That's what I'm here for. So someone asked me the other day, I went on a show and there was like, well, what's your role on your show? It's like, well, it's my show. I kind of have to be like Chris Paul, where I just need to pass and set up the guests unless they're cold and then I need to take over. That's essentially what I do as a host.
I think you do a great job as a host, Pat.
Yeah,
I think you're the best host out there. You tee people up, you let them go for it. I see what you do with Cam on a weekly basis. I can see the gears spinning in his head as you start. You really know how to get the best out of the guests.
And know what it is too? He gets you going too, Pizzola. Sometimes Pat comes at you and gives you a zinger when you think you're a real computer machine. Hey, Megabyte, when you think you got all the answers, Pat'll call you out.
When he called me Powder a few weeks back.
Yeah, Powder, honestly, that scared me, and I got skin problems. Like you were white, man.
I mean, The lighting is not. I mean, it's slightly.
No, it looks
improved.
good.
It's
No,
okay. Like
you look like you have a mild olive oil tan. Like you were straight up white before.
I mean, you could either be from the Mediterranean or you have jaundice. One of the two. Like you can mistake it either way depending on like the contrast on your TV. I think.
Yeah.
See, you just proves your point there. Quick, witty banter.
Yes.
All right. Bronze
What
picks.
are we doing now?
Well, we already know what the bronze picks are. I guess we can recap them for the people. Cincinnati,
Bengals.
Cincinnati minus 6.5 for Cam, and Detroit plus 7 for Rob and I. Easy game.
Excellent.
We're gonna lose so badly this week.
No, we're
Well,
not. Actually,
we have
last 2
guaranteed
weeks we
gold
sucked.
winner.
Yeah, exactly.
One guaranteed gold winner, no matter what, and we can hang our heads on that, no matter.
Pat, I have
what.
a feeling this is our week. I think we're literally going to go like 8-1.
Well,
Like,
I mean,
it's gonna be-
8-1 is actually the best we can do here, but that would
Exactly.
involve me losing my gold pick, which I don't want.
I'm sorry, Pat. We love you and we complimented you as being a great host, but we need that game because we have 2 of us on it versus 1.
And Feinberg's on it as well as his biggest play. Yeah. I'm telling you, I tried to convince you guys that you're wrong, but I try to do that every week, and that doesn't work out for anyone that I convince. Apparently, I'm just very persuasive with a lot of this stuff, although I'm not right about it. So that's a problem.
Can I ask one quick question about like the games that we didn't go over? What do you guys think of the Browns this week?
I like the Browns. I like the Ravens first half, but I like the Browns in the game.
The Browns are so due because they've been so shitty this year. Like I see this as a game where they actually show up. Rob, do you have an opinion?
Yeah, it would be Browns or nothing for me.
Okay, good. See, we're reading each other's mail. Excellent.
Are you with Cuss that the Commanders are the freest money on the board?
No, but I would take them over Green Bay. I wouldn't say free money, but it's Washington or nothing. Heineke's an upgrade from Wentz.
They're about the same. It's down to 4.5. It's down to 4.5 now.
It's not a drop off. I don't think it's a drop off.
No, and Heineke grinds more, right?
It's a lateral move.
He'll run for the first down.
That's what I was going to say.
Let's just say his effort level makes him, in my opinion, better than Wentz.
Yeah, but his effort level also leads to. I mean, Wentz makes some bad decisions, but like this mistakes are more tangible for Heineke because he's really trying to do a lot.
You're right.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's Washington has a very bad O-line. Teams are getting lots of pressure on them. I think at least Heineke is a little bit more mobile right now, and he can kind of do something with that. But to me, it's kind of a wash. I just can't lay points with the Packers right now.
Exactly.
Like the Packers are, until they show me something. Like imagine you didn't know anything about Aaron Rodgers or the Packers offenses from previous years, and you had just watched them play this year. There's no way you would think that this is even a mediocre offense. They're struggling to move the ball. So I just generally have a hard time laying points, especially more than a field goal with a team that's struggling to score.
Agreed.
Yep.
Any other games you want to talk about, Cam?
Let's see. Let's take a look here. Sorry, wrong. See, Rob, I hit Safari. I need Firefox. I'm struggling. Here we go.
Why do you use different browsers, not servers? I just want to correct
because when I do the shows with TV and stuff, if I have a lot of them open, I think it might affect the connection if there's too many windows open. So I try to stay on one. Or is that correct?
If you're opening another browser altogether, it's probably having the same impact. Probably.
I didn't come on this show to get an IT lesson. We'll do this another day, okay?
Let's
just stick to the picks.
I like the Texans plus 7.
I'm kind of 49ers and Chiefs.
Chiefs.
Yes. What do you think, Rob? Is that a trap? 49ers are going to cover? They got major injuries.
Yeah, it's for me. So I'm monitoring the Chiefs. Depends on the injury report, and we didn't really get much clarity for San Fran on the Wednesday injury report. But if they're as beat up as they were last week, I would be very interested in KC minus 2.5.
Tampa Bay, Carolina. Can we add 4 cats to the 3-cat blend?
No, I would say go the other way on that. Everyone's just like, oh, Tampa Bay's secret sucks. They can't score any points. They're going to absolutely annihilate the Panthers.
They might actually.
The Panthers suck.
The Panthers.
But he had the Panthers last week, and you know what? It looked like a great pick for a while, and then just nothing. Like you're right. I'm done with those guys.
If you had to guess how many games the Panthers have covered in their last 14, what would it be?
2.
3.
Lower. One.
One.
One of four. People talk themselves into the Panthers every week. They suck. They lost their last 3 games. They scored a defensive touchdown last week, and they still couldn't cover double digits against the Rams, and the Rams have no O-line.
If J.C. Horn didn't get hurt in that game, Rob, they cover. They exploited it.
Well, they seem to have a whole lot of problems. Like, oh, this happens every week. Well, this
if
happens.
Baker Mayfield didn't throw these four interceptions,
they
and
suck. Their defense is actually good. It's their friggin' offense, man. Their offense sucks.
Yes.
Their defense is respectable.
Remember when people, I'm not accusing you guys of saying this, but I consumed a lot of stuff last week about, oh, Baker's out of the picture. PJ Walker, big upgrade. PJ Walker stinks.
No, give me names. Give me names
I
on
didn't
it.
say,
Who
I
said
didn't
that?
say big upgrade.
God, this is why I said I'm not accusing you, Cam. I said other people.
Oh.
I consume other PJ Walker was the guy's average depth of target last week was less than 0. He threw behind the line of scrimmage so much. Anyways, Panthers to me, I the first thing I do every week on my list is just put a line through. Yeah, put a line through Carolina.
Remember when
They're not an option.
Remember when you told me they were better than Atlanta?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did say that on the show. You did. I wrote it down on my piece of paper. It's in my upstairs drawer.
Can you get it out of the jewelry box just to confirm?
Yeah, I know it. I will, but do I have to do that now? I know. Obviously, I didn't write it down, but you did say it.
Did I say that they're better or they would be favored over Atlanta?
You said that they were better, and then you told me
better.
You told me to just look at the rosters. Is what your quote was?
I'm going to come back and I'll say I'm going to accept the loss. I'm going to be a man and say I had a bad take. I'm not going to continue to deny it.
Be like me,
I'll take the
Pizzola.
L.
I got a million bad takes, million bad picks. Just own up to it. It's tough. We make a lot of comments on the show. Of course, a few of them are going to be wrong.
You're not going to get everything right in life. Yep. You know, you just got to get.
I just want a few things right in life. That's all I'm asking for.
I just want 52.5% of things right.
Oh, I want like baseball. I want 300. 3 out of 10 is amazing for me. That means I'm a success.
Cust was telling me he was listening to this show last week, and you said something, Rob, that like it was perfectly in line with what Cust also thought, and our group chat blew up. He's like, see, everyone agrees with me about this. I was like, who agrees with you? He's like, Rob just said it. It's like, well, you also disagree with Rob on everything. So he's right when he agrees with you, but apparently you're wrong when you disagree with him.
Just like I said about trends, Pat. That's what you can use them any way you want to.
Exactly.
All right, that will do it on the Pat Mayo Experience. Cam Stewart live on Twitter, at Rob Pizzola on Twitter as well. Check out the Hammer.bet for more content from Rob, Cam, and myself as we try to lose another Survivor pick for like the.
We didn't lose last week, did we?
I think
we got the Rams. We finally.
We won. We used the Rams. Yeah, I thought because we had used the Buccaneers before that. I think I was worried that we had taken the Buccaneers, so that wouldn't be good. Hey, we got a winner. That's fine. We're back to like 500 for the year in Survivor. That's a very good rate that we're going at this point. But play in the Listeners League. RunTheSims.com/Mayo to get yourself the 10% off. Smash a like on the way out and sub to the channel. Rate and review the podcast. Thank you all for watching. I'm Pat Mayo. I'll see you next time.
Pat Mayo Experience! Experience!